What is up, guys? We are here with another interview. I know I said we were done with interviews for the season, but me and Eli here got together a little bit late, so we had to get this interview in right before the season started. We are joined by Eli Turner, slot receiver, dynamic. I call him a switchblade, man. This guy can do it all. Over 1,500 yards rushing for his career. Also over 500 yards receiving, almost 20 total touchdowns. If you need it done, Eli can get it done anywhere on the offensive side of the ball. Been an all Pioneer League selection and just one of the best players in the Pioneer League in the FCS. Man, I appreciate you joining the show.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And man, coming out of high school, you were an MVP. You were an all county team selection. You were one of the best players in your state. Which teams recruited you the hardest out of high school, looking all the way back to when you were coming out as back in like 2015?
Yeah. So you think back then, I guess the team that recruited me the hardest outside of Davidson was Cornell. They had offered me early in I guess it was my junior spring during high school. And then I was also talking to a few coaches from West Virginia, D2 schools like West Virginia Wesleyan, Fairmont State, schools like that.
Oh man, I like it. So, what was it about Davidson that made you commit? Was it the environment, the coaching, the playing time? What kind of went into your commitment process?
I think it was kind of a combination of everything you said. I think at the time I was definitely looking at a lot of the Ivy schools, and so I was taking visits up there during the spring and the summer, summer before my senior year, and then that summer also I came down to Davidson to take a visit, and I kind of immediately knew it was something different about this place, and just the feel was different. The coaching staff actually genuinely showed love. And obviously being able to compete for playing time my freshman year was something that also intrigued me.
Oh man, I like it. So, outside of, opportunities due to, positional fits, things like that, we have some players who watch the show too. What are the key, what is the key to finding playing time as a freshman? Is it the work ethic? Is it the connections you make? Is it the leadership you show in the all season? Look back on your freshman season. What do you think the key was for you seeing the field so early and often as a freshman?
I think one of the keys was definitely understanding the playbook, understanding really the football and concepts as a whole in general. And I think that kind of helped me be more coachable and be more personable with my teammates and my coaches, being able to trust me and rely on me to, not mess up essentially. But yeah.
I like it, man. And so last year, Davidson wins the Pioneer League championship, goes to the FCS playoffs. What was different about that team last year? So, what was there something in the off season you noticed? Was it a game y'all played? When did you know this team was different?
Yeah, so I think it kind of started back my freshman year when Coach Abel first got here. Our first goal was to be a contender, and so those first 2 years we were able to achieve that status, and then our next goal was to win. And so I think COVID actually might have helped us a little bit. With that being, our seniors stayed. They didn't have to play in the spring, so they chose to forego their senior spring, doing other things, and came back to play with us. And I think that and having them there kind of to motivate us, to kind of just say that they didn't do this for no reason. We had to go out there and really get it for them.
Oh man, I like it. And so, you make it to the FCS playoffs. You face Jacksonville State in the first round. What is it a different environment once you get into the playoffs? And what was that experience like getting to the FCS playoffs, knowing you had a shot at a national title?
Yeah, it was a great environment down there, Jacksonville State. It was definitely probably the biggest stadium I've ever played in, and kind of the most electric stadium, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it was great having the opportunity to, get our names out there. Obviously, we didn't come away with the victory, but it was a great experience overall.
I like it. And so, looking back to your freshman year in 2018 to now being one of the senior leaders for this Davidson team, how has your game evolved since you stepped on campus to now?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think I came in my freshman year. I wasn't exactly the body build that I wanted. And so for my position, I kind of just worked on that during the off seasons, eating better, working out in different sort of ways with our strength coach. And I think that was probably my biggest, I guess, change from freshman year till now.
I like it. And so, looking back at your career, man, you've done so much. I mean, you're a rushing threat, a receiving threat, an All-American. You've made the playoffs. You've won a conference championship. What letter grade would you give your career thus far at Davidson?
I'm a little bit hard on myself, so I guess I would give myself a B, I would say. Mainly because I haven't had the seasons that I think I know I can have. And so really, this season I'm just gonna put it all on the line and see where that takes me.
Oh man, you've already done so much, so taking it to another level, I can only imagine where that's going to go. Looking at your game right now, though, man, you do so much. You can be a running back, you could be a wide receiver, you could be a slot guy, special teams guy. What is your biggest strength, though, as a player right now?
Mm. I guess I would say my biggest strength. I don't know. I wouldn't say call this really a strength, but more just like a surprise factor. I think since a lot of teams focus on us running the ball, and so when we get into our play action pass game, they don't really expect us to go out in the routes and catch the ball or even catch deep balls, stuff like that. So I guess that would be my biggest like surprise factor. I think that defenses don't really think about.
Oh man, and on the flip side, I've had some players be like, I can't give away my trade secrets. I can't give you too many tips. But what's one thing in your game that you want to improve on to take your game to the next level?
Yeah. I think I can always work on my blocking, and I think as slots, we block a lot in our offense, and so especially when we get more tired, the blocking kind of is the first thing to fall off. So I think that's definitely something that I can improve on.
I like it, man. And so the biggest thing between high school and college football is film study. The film study is so much deeper, and you got to do it more often in college. When you watch film of a defense, what are the biggest things you're looking for? Do you key on their best players? Do you key on your matchup? Do you look for coverages, things like that? What do you watch as you watch film?
Yeah, so our coaches they do a good job of letting us know kind of what players on their side are the better players and which players we think we can go after and take advantage of. So definitely one thing I think I key in on is just my reads and understanding what players I might come in contact with on the field and kind of how they play. And then also just seeing how they tackle also is definitely a big thing.
Oh man, I like it. And so after winning the conference championship, making it to the playoffs, I can only imagine expectations are at an all-time high around the program. But inside the locker room, as being one of the senior leaders, what are some of the team goals for Davidson going into this season?
Yeah, obviously our huge goal is of course repeating our championship. But really we're not really looking too far ahead. We're really just focused on this Saturday versus VMI and just coming away with the dub there.
So that's a huge game this weekend. VMI's, I know, is going to be one of the tougher opponents on the schedule. But looking at your career, I know it's always team first, and the team goals always come before the personal goals. But just looking at like your personal list in your head, your motivation, what are your personal goals for the 2021 season?
I guess I'm not really a guy that sets personal goals on the field, and I did it in high school a lot, but now since I've got to college, I've kind of noticed that every year is a different team, and so every year, even if I set those goals, they might not be achieved in that way, but I could achieve goals in a different way. So I think kind of just keeping an open mind and not really, I got to get 500 yards in these next 4 games. I got to get 1,000 receiving yards this season. I don't think that's really the way I like to play things. I like to see how things play out on their own. And then, if I'm doing my job and if my teammates are doing our job, we're all going to be successful.
Man, I like to hear it. And so I know, so every like underclassman I have on the show gives me like the best answer ever to this question. But all the seniors I have on the show give me the political answer, like the next game's the most important. So you can say that, just it's all good, but just give me a but after. What game on the schedule are you looking forward to most that you have circled and say we have to show up that game? I want to ball out in this game.
I mean, I'll give you the senior answer, then I'll give you my underclassman answer. So
All right.
my senior answer, of course, VMI. It's the first one. It's going to set the tone for the season. Obviously, it's going to be the biggest opponent we play this year. So we definitely want to go out there and ball out against them. But after that, it's probably going to be San Diego, just because there's kind of built a little bit of a rivalry between us. And then last year we went out there and beat them. So I know they're going to be trying to come here and do the same in Davidson this year. So definitely looking forward to that game too.
Oh man, that's gonna be such a great game. And guys, if you got to tune into the VMI game, going to be one of the best games of the weekend. But so I know this is a tricky question because you, being a slot guy, you do so many different things. But for you, is there what NFL player do you model your game after the most?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. I would say I like to take different parts from different players. So for example, I like the route running of different receivers. Obviously, like shorter guys like Edelman used to be in the league. Shorter guys like that, and then also running styles of different guys. Derrick Henry, I don't really see myself as a more downhill guy, but I like to be able to finish my runs and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say a specific person, but I like to take different parts and pieces from different players, kind of implement them in my game.
Oh, that's one of the best answers I've heard. I mean, everyone kind of has like that main player, but I like how you just take the best of so many, different players. But every player has the pregame routine. I mean, most famously, Dion laying out his uniform. I've had players tell me they have to listen to one song all day, which sounds crazy to me. I would get tired of that song so much. What is your pregame routine on game days?
Yeah, I guess I would say I don't really have that much of a routine. I guess I do, but it's nothing outlandish that anybody else doesn't do. But I guess one artist that I definitely try to listen to on game days is Lil Uzi Vert.
No, man. Hey, that's a common one. I've had a few players tell me that's like their go-to. So I don't blame you there. But as a slot guy, as like a wide receiver, there's always like a key that they like to key onto. Like I've had some D linemen that says like if the offensive tackle takes a drop step too far, they know they're beat. What's the number one mistake a DB can make against you if y'all are one-on-one?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to what I said earlier about our play action pass. DBs having their eyes in the backfield is never going to end up well for them.
I like it. And so we've had some DBs on the show, notorious trash talkers. I mean, you played Jacksonville State. We had Nicario Harper on the show. What he just admitted, he was like, "Yeah, I talk trash all game long. It never stops." How big of a trash talker are you during the game?
I guess I'm a little bit of a trash talker. It kind of depends on we're playing against. So I might not always talk trash first, but then again, I might. It really just depends on the situation. But I mean, I'm always willing to give it back.
Oh man, I like it. And so, on the same token of DBs, who's the best DB that you've ever faced in a game one-on-one?
It was probably one of the DBs from Jacksonville State. I would have to say. I don't really know their names that much because we only played them one time, not that familiar. But yeah, they had some pretty good DBs out there.
Yeah, man, that program turns out some DBs. Yeah, we had Nicario on the show, and that's my guy. This plays safety though, so I don't know how often you guys got one-on-one, but that's a matchup. I hope y'all meet again because that's a matchup I'll definitely be watching. But we cover the Senior Bowl every year on this show, and we pay a lot of attention to the combine and things like that. And people like you are becoming so common. Demetric Felton last year was a standout in the Senior Bowl who was a running back, but they moved him out to wide receiver, and you can play so many different positions. If an NFL franchise asks you what you can bring to their franchise and what position you'd like to play at the next level, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I would tell them that I have the opportunity to lead. I know I will be a young guy in that scenario, but I understand football. I understand how the game works, and I also understand what my role would be. And so, putting my head down and working is definitely something that I could bring to the table. As far as position, I mean, like you said, I can really do it all. I mean, I prefer the slot, being able to run the ball and catch the ball. But really, if you need me out wide, I can go in there. If you need me between the tackles, I can do that as well.
Oh man, I like it. I'm hoping we get to see you down at the Senior Bowl and or one of these big, NFL camps at postseason games or something like that. But last question here, man. Everyone's got different motivations to why they play, what keeps them motivated year in and year out. Despite all the championships you guys win, all the awards you get, what keeps you motivated year in and year out to keep giving it like 110% every year?
Honestly, is my teammates. Kind of coming in, we had a solid group of guys in my class. Most of us, we're still here, we're still tight, we're still close knit, and seeing how this program has changed our whole time here is really just a motivation in itself. And then seeing those guys each and every day, my brothers, for life. So they're really the motivation of why I kind of keep going hard every day.
Oh man, I like it. So, man, I appreciate you doing this interview. I know you guys kick it off this weekend with a big game. So the fact you gave me 15 minutes of your time, man, shout out to you for that. But in this day and age of NIL, man, where can everyone find you on social media? Are there any shout outs for NIL you need or want to do, or any plugs? Just plug yourself here, man. This time is yours.
Yeah, so my Twitter is _its_Eli, so _ITS_ELI. My Instagram is Eli.Turner1. And anyone looking to do an NIL deal, I'm open. You can hit me on Twitter or Instagram, and we can get something working.
Absolutely. Guys, always support the players. That's why we started all these interviews this all season to get these players, be able to promote them, and make sure to follow Eli on all social media. The more followers he gets, the more deals he can get in the future, even after he graduates and ends up in the NFL. But Eli, I'll be following you guys this year. I'll definitely be tuned into the VMI game this weekend. I'm so pumped for that game, and good luck on your season, man. But guys, subscribe to the Bluebloods now. Go follow Eli. But this is probably actually a wrap on our interviews this year. So make sure to check all the interviews out we've done with all the players this offseason. There's a playlist on our channel, and we'll kick them up after the season. Eli, we'll have to have you on after the season, especially after y'all repeat as champions, man.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for it.
Absolutely. But guys, for Eli, myself, and the Bluebloods, we are out for right now.